Happy Wednesday, Bobcats. I'm Kayley Teagle, or known as Pippi Longstocking, your anchor for this week's show. And with only 3 more days till Halloween, we'll have some of our community members' thoughts on trick-or-treating, COVID-19 update, and some Halloween movies explained. And to end off the show with a scare, we'll have a short film, Home, from Ambrogelly and Kathman. So let's get started. With Halloween quickly approaching as October comes to an end, Malea Williams and JJ Martin have a story for us exploring whether you Bobcats will or should be trick-or-treating this Halloween. So let's send it off to Malea and JJ.
Halloween 2020 is just around the corner, with all the fun festivities up in the air due to the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in Bressy Ranch, where there are usually no parking spots in sight and hundreds of kids roaming the streets. It makes for an eventful Halloween night. Although people of all ages love Halloween, young kids would be affected the most if the county decides to put a restriction or ban on trick-or-treating. According to CBS 8 News, Los Angeles County has already decided they will be banning trick-or-treating. Our county is still undecided on how they will be handling Halloween this year. We got to speak with Ryan and Sean Ernst from Kelly Elementary to get their scoop on what they think Halloween is going to be like this year. Are you planning to go trick-or-treating this year?
Yes, but only certain houses because of COVID and health issues. I think so, but with our friends.
Not only will kids have the hard decision of should I go trick-or-treating this year, parents also have quite a lot to think about. Like, is passing out candy a good choice? Or is it okay for us to put our family at risk for one night of fun? Margot Clark, a Sage Creek parent, a mother of 3, has had a lot on her mind lately.
We haven't decided yet if we're going to turn on our light. My daughter is coming up with a way to distribute the candy without getting close to people, so we'll see what she comes up with. I'm a little bit worried about the number of cases rising, but I'm hoping that people who are going out are staying distant and wearing their masks and doing it safely. We are choosing not to go trick-or-treating this year, but we may hand out candy to those who decide to go.
We also got to sit down with one of our own, Mrs. Woolley, to get the scoop on why she is dressing up every day in the month of October.
Actually, it's my daughter. So we really like Halloween at our house, and working virtually has been kind of a bummer. And she's noticed the lack of energy in her coworkers. She works in a marketing company through New York. And everyone's just kind of overwhelmed and bummed out. And we really like Halloween, and she wanted to find a way to kind of infuse some excitement into the meetings.
Yeah.
So she started doing it. She challenged me. She said, let's just do this every day. We've got enough costumes. We can make this work. And so she and I have been dressing up every day for our meetings virtually.
I'm in suspense, waiting to see what Halloween will be like this year. No matter what the rules and regulations end up being this year, at least I can still wear my favorite costume to virtual school. This has just been Malea Williams and JJ Martin reporting for The Sage. Now back to the anchors.
It is unfortunate that the one year Halloween falls on a Saturday, we are in the middle of a global pandemic that urges us to stay home and be safe this 2020. Wear a mask to those Bobcats who will be trick-or-treating under the full moon that the 31st brings us. However, if you happen to be one of the Bobcats staying indoors this Halloween, broadcast editor-in-chief Christopher Kathman has some Halloween movies that you should check out.
It's been a crazy year to say the absolute least. I mean, parts of this year have already felt like a horror movie, with the pandemic threatening the world, and it feels like we're all going a little crazy right now, all secluded and whatnot. But you know what's always fun? Getting absolutely terrified at moving pictures. Come along with me as we take a look at some movies to watch inside instead of spreading the virus this Halloween.
Disclaimer, even though I'm making jokes about these movies, they're all genuinely amazing.
Where else to start but Halloween? No, freshman, not that one. The original sillies. This 1978 classic features Michael Myers, a mental facility escapee who goes back to his hometown for no specific reason to hunt down a babysitter for no specific reason. Another one to catch is Hereditary. Directed by Ari Aster, who should join Michael Myers in a mental facility, this movie's about a wacky family that gets into some crazy shenanigans. The next spook you guys should check out is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Set in the Cloverfield universe, this thriller is about a woman who gets into a car crash before waking up in somebody else's home. The three characters are then required to quarantine to protect themselves from a mysterious thing that's making people sick. This movie came out in 2016, by the way. Moving on, Train to Busan is a South Korean zombie movie that takes place almost entirely on a moving train. Essentially, if you took World War Z, combined it with Snowpiercer, you'd have this. And last but not least, we have Monster House, a movie all of us have seen, but no one seems to remember. Seriously, I was looking at pictures of these characters and I forgot they were even in the movie, yet I remember them so vividly. But anyway, Bobcats, that concludes this edition of I Think You Should Watch This Movie. This has been Christopher Kathman, sending it back to Kayley Teagle.
Thank you, Chris. I'll definitely be checking those movies out. Switching gears, we have reporter Chinai to bring us this week's COVID-19 update.
Thanks, Kayley. California's had the most state cases for quite some time until recently. This week, Texas narrowly surpassed California's 909,227 cases with their 909,968 cases. Nonetheless, both states are nearing severely close to 1 million cases individually. This reflects the new 30,883 cases in California this week, or 78 cases per 100,000 people. In comparison, Texas has an overwhelming 41,051 cases and 142 cases per 100,000. Although California's case rates are rising, San Diego's case rates are much lower at 67 cases per 100,000 and 54,646 cases total. However, we are once more sinking dangerously close into the purple tier. At 70 cases per 100,000, only 3 cases per 100,000 are off from our current number. This past week, we are reported 269 cases with 2 deaths. With Halloween nearing, the case numbers may rise, causing us to fall back into the purple tier, so please make sure to wear a mask and social distance. In case we do fall back into the purple tier, there will most likely be a change in the district's newest reopening plan. We are currently scheduled to go back to school on November 30th to start at the second trimester, the same date as all the other schools in the district. As of the current plan, we will be on an A-B cohort schedule, but anything can happen in a month, especially with Halloween and Thanksgiving approaching. If our county seeps into the purple tier, we will have to delay a school reopening, so please stay safe during these upcoming holidays, but don't forget to have fun. Be sure to stay tuned to thesagenews.com for more updates. This has been Chinai for The Sage, now back to the anchor.
Thank you so much, Bobcats, for tuning in to this week's episode of The Sage. Make sure to go follow our Instagram at The Sage Publications for updates on articles and more. Also go check out our website, thesagenews.com, for the latest news stories. This has been Pippi Longstockings, aka Kayley Teagle, reporting for The Sage. But wait, to really end off this haunted episode, we have a short film from Chris Kathman and Leo Ambrogelly, rolling Home.
Of all the structures mankind has invented for itself, there is no question that the house is the building upon which we rely most completely for our survival. The link between man and house is less superficial than one might be led to believe. If one were to dissect a home, as we would a human cadaver, we would find ourselves able to describe its appendages in a decidedly anatomical fashion. Take, for example, the bedroom. Here we spend almost 20% of our existence completely reliant on the house. There, anything might watch us until morning, keep us company, and we would never perceive it. With this in mind, the bedroom is less like a space and more like a mouth, for it is here that the house is most likely to...
I didn't leave this here.
bite down.